Well, welcome back to Flare Fires. Today I'm cooking dirty steaks on a Flare outdoor fireplace. Let's get into it. I've been watching videos of people cooking dirty steaks, and what a dirty steak is when you actually cook your steak on the embers. You don't use any grill plate or hot plate, you're cooking literally directly on the embers. And we can learn together whether it's a good idea or not, and whether it's a fun way to cook meat at home. One of the reasons I do this kind of thing is just trying to give you all different reasons, different excuses to use your Flare fire to get out there and grab your family and make some time at home away from screens. So hey, what's a better thing to do than to cook a steak and maybe make some mistakes, because it rhymes. So that's what we're going to do. And another reason is I soon am cooking hot dogs against a really good chef. He wants to compete with me cooking hot dogs. I've never done a hot dog before. I actually practiced hot dogs the other day, and I reckon I've got a good idea. And I want to do a dirty dog. I'm going to call it a dirty dog, right? And what it is I'm going to cook the hot dogs on the embers. And I'm going to try that today. I might even try with the buns as well. But that's my idea. It's probably not going to work, but we'll try that as well. So yeah, we're going to get into it. And what we're going to do is to salt the steak, move the embers around, no grill plate, no hot plate, and hope for the best. As you know, you just cannot put enough salt on your steak. I've just chosen a sirloin. I really didn't know what type of meat to use for this, what type of steak. I thought about a big thick steak, but then I thought if I burn it, if it burns on the embers, I didn't want to have a burnt steak, really thick burnt steak that was rare in the middle. I didn't want like a rump, because then I thought it would just be too lean. I needed something with a bit of fat in, so I've chosen a sirloin. I know that in the States they don't call it sirloin, they call it something else. I can't remember what they call it over there, but in New Zealand we call it sirloin. So yeah, that's nicely salted. I'm just going to manage my embers. What I'm planning to do is just try to reduce the amount of flame going on. I think I'm going to try a few different options, but I've only got 2 steak, so I'm going to try on something like this, which is just super hot, and try to keep it away from the flame. You can't feel the heat, but it really is, that's really hot. I reckon that's easily probably 300 or 400 degrees Celsius, so it might just be that I'm just going to completely stuff this up. Oh, I'm going to try it with the hot dogs first, because if I stuff them up, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to feel a bit better about that. So let's try that. And put the hot dog directly on there like that. Look at that. Looks like I just don't know what I'm doing. Putting 4 in, just because I have 4 to cook. I am going to put my glasses on, just so I can see what I'm doing. I've got my thermal glove on, because that is really hot. It's just these tongs are just a bit short shoot. Look at that. Look at that. See, don't do that. See how it's burning? That's not good. That one there's not burning. I might just put him over there a little bit. That guy. I'm just going to put them over there. Look, he's not burnt. This guy's a bit burnt. Okay, so I stuffed that up. Okay, so I've got 2 bad, dirty dogs, and 2. Oh, that's so hot. Okay, it's quite complicated. My shirt's almost on fire. I need longer tongs for this job. That's one lesson. It was just too hot, so I'm just going to sit it on the wood here and see if that's better. I think having it over just the red hot embers is just too much. So I'm going to sit it aside on some cooler pieces that don't have any flames going on. Look at that, that's better. That's slowed right down. See that? I've just rolled it over. There's not really much going on there. Okay, so we've learned our lesson. Do not do it on the red embers. You want a couple of bits of wood that have a bit of heat in them, a bit of smoke going on as well. The other thing I could do is use some water. I didn't think of that, maybe just to cool things down. Maybe when I do the dirty dog competition, I might do that. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to finish those off, and then I'm going to cook my steak on there. And those 2 are still burnt. They haven't actually stopped being burnt. They're still just as burnt as before. And that one's really dirty now. It's way back there. We'll put him up. Here we go. He's dirty. That's definitely a dirty dog, all right? But I think those guys are done. It's super hot, honestly, that you can't hold your hand in there for long. So I reckon that's fully or semi-cooked. We're about to find out, actually, that we can taste it and see if we get food poisoning. Let's do that. I'm going to pull these guys out. Some people would say you're going to get carcinogenics from that. I don't know if that's even a real... You know, my mum, she won't even... She still tells me not to eat burnt toast because she thinks the charcoal on the toast will give you cancer. I don't think it's real. If that is true, then this is definitely going to cause cancer. So if you're worried about that, I wouldn't eat it. We need to genuinely tell the people watching whether you can taste how dirty that is. Like, can you taste the crunchiness or not, or does it just taste amazing? Let's do it, eh? Okay, I'm going to go for this one because it's got lots of charcoal on it. But from my perspective, you can't tell at all. There you go. It's fine, eh? Can you taste any dirtiness to it?
Well, it tastes like a dirty dog. That's a good taste.
Yeah, it's a good tasting dirty dog. It's got the taste of goodness to it.
Yeah.
Very fatty.
Yeah, it's a good sausage.
Good fatty sausage. You see that when I squeeze it, all the fat's squeezed out. But it's cooked on the inside, you'd agree?
Yeah.
Super fast. Okay, great. So those are definitely going to give you cancer, those guys. So we won't eat them. And they just look dodge. And it's actually a bit dry. I can feel it's just crumbling. I made a crumbly one. So, all right, I've learnt. That's good. I'm so stoked that I did that with the hot dogs first. Okay, I have my long tongs, salted steak. I've got my bit of wood off to the side. Haven't moved that. That's still exactly where I did the dirty dogs. So let's try this. A little bit of a sizzle when I dropped it on. It's a fair bit of fat to render down. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to be able to render the fat and not cook it too fast. And it's kind of sagging, that one. Oh shoot, that's looking really dodgy. Oh, that's so hot. Definitely need thermal gloves for this, and maybe even longer tongs. Like if I could have 1 meter long tongs for this job, that would be the ideal. One thing I wanted to say about the wood, because it is so hot, I've chosen hardwood, so I'm cooking on cherry and wattle, which is sort of the hardwoods I have available. They got a lot of flavour to them. But what I've avoided specifically is cooking on like treated lumber. So if you're tempted to use pellet lumber or building lumber, today's definitely, if you're going to do dirty steak, today's definitely not the day to use that kind of wood. If it's treated, they treat lumber with arsenic and stuff, so it's got some really terrible chemicals in it. Even the pellet lumber that we use, for example, at Flair for all our export packaging, it's been kiln dried. Before it's kiln dried, they spray it with a chemical to just make it last a bit longer than green lumber. That stuff will kill you as well. So today, because we're cooking on the wood, I strongly encourage you not to use treated lumber. That's looking pretty good. Look at that. This side of the steak's looking a bit undone, but I'm going to flick that over anyway, because I'm just wanting to make sure I definitely don't burn these. I've only got 2 steaks to try with today. Okay, so I've just ChatGPT'd whether these steaks are going to give me cancer. And the short version is yes, they might. But I don't know. You know, there's all sorts of, apparently it forms these PAHs and HCAs or something that are carcinogenic when it's burnt. But, you know, is there a risk? And it says, well, it depends on the amount of frequency of exposure. So if you're doing this every day, maybe, you know, genetics. I mean, look at me, I'm not going to get cancer from that. Something else might give me cancer, but not that. If I was smoking, like, is it worse than smoking? You know, like, is it worse than drinking every night? Is it worse than sugar? Is it what other worse things? There's so many bad things. Look at this. Tell me that is bad for you. It's just, it's no way that's giving me cancer. So it's genetic and overall diet and lifestyle. Well, so I'm fine. So as long as you have good genetics, don't do this every day, and don't eat anything else bad, you'll be fine. Okay, here we have 2 dirty steaks. Oh, they're not cooked. They're not cooked. I'm putting it back in. I can see that. Look how squishy that is. That is like, that's rare. I would eat that, but nobody else will. So I'm putting that back in. Oh, I just don't want to make it too dry, but yeah, back in. Sorry, back in. Okay, so we've learnt we've got to pull it out, do a field test. You could put a thermometer in there, but I feel like I'd ruin the thermometer because that is super hot. I don't think thermometers are going to cope with that. So I'm just going to give that a little bit longer. Okay, I think we might be close, so let's have a look. Okay, so if that one there is well done, this one has a part which is quite rare. But let's give it a go, eh? Let's have a look. Might just cut that open and have a little nosy. You can see it's a little bit rarer, but that's quite edible still. Some of my family would complain, but you'll find this one here is, oh, it's a little bit rare in places as well. But that's you don't want to cook your steak any more than that, really. So that's great. So here's my idea. Listen, it came off. I'm just going to analyse it. There's a little bit. There's just one little ember there. There's a little bit of black on it, but it's not. I don't think there's anything in there that would make me hesitate about eating that. There's a bit of wood stuck to that one, but you can pick that off. Easy peasy, just like that. And the other bits have just fallen off. So I don't have any hesitation with eating that. That was the bit that worried me. Maybe it worried you when you thought about this idea. Can you eat it? Is it going to have all this bits stuck to it? And it hasn't. It really, it's no worse than I've seen steak cooked on a dirty barbecue. It really isn't any, that would worry me more. Oh, you just think of that, you know, when people cook a barbecue and their grill's disgusting and it's just months of garbage and dead cockroaches and stuff on there. This was, all the bugs have been cooked. It actually is relatively clean, so no worse than that, absolutely. Definitely better than dead cockroaches. I'm going to slice this up. Yum. I'm actually really happy with how I cooked it. I had to pay attention. I couldn't just sort of leave it there and have a sleep. What I'm going to do, what I quite like when I dreamed of this, I imagined a bit of garlic butter sitting on one of them, and then we can judge. One just with the salt and the flame and the heat, no extra sort of flavour, and one with a good dash of garlic butter sitting on top of it, and it's going to melt down. Okay, so here we go, one dirty steak with some garlic butter. I'm going to taste that. One dirty steak, just plain. I'm going to taste some, let the cameraman taste some. I'm just going to grab one of these middle pieces that's got the butter melted all over it. And yeah. Well, with the hot dogs, I couldn't tell. To be honest, with the dirty dog, I thought, why bother doing it? Except it's cool. This, you can tell. I'm just dribbling everywhere, sorry. You can tell. You can taste the fire on it. Amazing. Garlic's nice as well. Mr. Cameraman, do you want me to give you a piece? There's a lot of garlic butter, but you can't really tell, I don't think. You'd agree?
Well, we're about to find out.
True. Okay. So non-garlic. A bit more salt. I should have added more salt to that. So I'm going to salt this. You don't need the garlic butter. That's fine. That's really nice. If you had it sliced up and just handed that out to people, you've entertained a little bit. Just showing how awesome you are with your cooking. People are going to love that. Bit of blood. It's just because it's resting and it's not, you know, fully cooked. But yeah, I'm super impressed. So there we go. Dirty steaks on a flare outdoor fire base. Go and try it. Go and make some time with your family. And check us out when we're back at some point with my secret dirty dogs when I'm competing against a chef. That's sometime in the next sort of month or so. So keep a lookout for that. We'll see you next time.